Today I have a nice treat for you. I actually picked this from my garden, and I've been picking a lot of zucchinis from my garden, so I said I've got to do a show where I show you folks how to do zucchini bread. A nice, easy recipe. And I don't leave all the greens on. In our family, we like a little bit of variety here, sort of like a cucumber. So I take some of the pieces off. I leave enough so that you still see the greenery. That ought to do it. And I have my favorite grater. And we need 2 cups. So I need to really grate a lot of zucchini, and it's fairly easy. I think you can see, and it'll work up well. But what you have to do when you finish grating the zucchini, you've got to actually squeeze out a lot of the water, because it'll really affect the batter and the recipe. And I probably won't be using the whole thing. Right now it looks like a good ½ cup. So I'll try the other end. It's a little slippery, so you have to really try to grasp it. And then some of the seeds I put aside and I dry. I'll save them for next year. That'll be a nice treat to have more zucchinis in the garden. This was an organic seed company, so these zucchinis came out wonderful. Now, it looks like we're getting to at least a cup and a half. That. And we're almost finished. I can see them flying all over the place, but once they get into the batter, it'll be just fine. Okay, now I take my 2 cups and I squeeze as much as I can out of the zucchini. So you can see the water. See how I squeeze it out? That's a lot of water that came out of it. Now the next phase, you add 3 eggs and make sure that you blend it so it's nice and frothy. All right? It should develop a lot of bubbles. Now, once it does that, you will add your oil and your sugar. Blend that. And then you add your zucchini that has been drained. And the next thing is to add in a couple of teaspoons of vanilla. And now you're ready to prepare your dry ingredients. Set this aside. So here we have the flour, and add in 3 teaspoons of cinnamon, then you have 2 teaspoons of baking soda, and 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder. And the last thing here is your teaspoon of salt. Take everything, blend it in carefully with the flour, especially to get the cinnamon all mixed in. And then take back your bowl and begin adding in all the dry ingredients. The very last thing, and this is optional, you can add in walnuts, and I add in about 1/2 cup. See how it turns a nice coffee color from the cinnamon. Then I take a good handful or more, because I like nuts, and blend it all in. Now once this is completely mixed, you're ready to spoon it in. Now I just put nice paper liners into a 12-cup bake tin, and I start out with a heaping spoonful, and this should get me through. I'll probably have a little bit extra for maybe one little cake. These are absolutely delicious, especially if you want to freeze them up and take them out in about 10 or 15 seconds. You have a delicious muffin for breakfast or for a treat. This is going in the oven, and I want to make sure that I don't make any more of a mess than I already have, but you've got it here. And this will be 350 degrees for, about 60 or 70 minutes. That would be a cake. I would say to check this at 30 to 40 minutes because it's muffins. So here we go. I just thought I would take and make a few small cakes while I have some extra batter. So these will probably bake for 40 minutes or more. I might not have enough for 2. We'll see. Well, that looks good for that one. And I think I'll take a spatula and maybe get as much as I can out of it, even if it's a small cake. we'll see how this comes out. This will be rather low, but there. So one has a little bit more than the other, but it'll still taste good. There, and I'll just squeeze them in. Okay. I just took out the two little cakes, and now I have the muffins, and look at that. Just beautiful. Now, just to make sure that they are well cooked, take a cake tester or a toothpick and make sure you check a few to see if the tip comes out absolutely clean. Now, with the cakes, as I told you, one of them was rather small, but it's still a good cake. So I just want to show you how nicely it looks inside. And a favorite of mine is to take the zucchini bread and add some melted butter. So I have here some melted butter, and you just add it on, and it's the best. Another thing that you can do is add some cream cheese. And that too offsets the sweetness and the flavor of the zucchini bread. So here you have it, 12 beautiful muffins, a few cakes, and if you don't have a garden like I do, I would recommend that you go out to your local supermarket and get yourself one big zucchini, and you'll see how you can make 12 muffins, a couple of cakes, have yourself a wonderful zucchini moment. Thanks. See you next time.